Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to my three-part project on my vacation in Mexico. Today is an interesting one, not as fast-paced as my last video, but interesting nonetheless. You see here that we are waiting for a tour bus, and we are going on a longer tour than I expected at the time. We're going to tour the pyramids of Chichen Itza. It is the Mayan pyramids in Mexico. They have several. We're just going to go see one. But this tour actually took us to several different places. The first thing we did after getting onto the onto the bus is that they took us to like this junction of sorts, because not everyone getting onto this bus was going to the same spot. So different buses took you to different places. So they just kind of had to organize everyone, and then once we got onto our second bus, that's when the real tour started. So this is said junction. It was a little stank, a little ghetto, but it got the job done. The bathrooms were a mess. Didn't even go in. I went in, smelled it, but otherwise got the job done. There were like 7 buses outside going to different places in Mexico. And this tourism thing is not just for like, travelers, or like, I don't know, Americans, people who are coming in from other countries. A lot of nationals, a lot of Mexicans themselves are doing these tours within their own country, which is very nice. So this is us on our actual bus, starting the tour at around 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't really remember.
This would be a good day to go. That's it.
So on our tour, we had a specific tour guide telling us everything we had to know. Right here, he's telling us to really remember our bus number. He gave us a sticker to put on our clothes. I put it on my pants because when we got there, and you'll see later on, there were like dozens of buses. Our first stop was the Mayan village of Kimich. This is where we had a shaman, like, bless our trip. We didn't really stay for that for my parents, but they gave us free lunch. There was like a shop where we can buy some artifacts, which they claimed they made. Who knows? But I did end up getting a turtle, which I thought was a deal. Turns out it was like $40 for the smallest turtle they used. I kind of thought scam, but it was a memory, guys. So who cares, right? This is me walking to the breakfast buffet they had. I forget what it's called, but the Mayans have this one meal that I ate all the while I was in Mexico. It's like, what's it called? It's like this pig in a stew that they eat with taco, or like tortilla. It is so good. You'll see it on my plate in a second. I had it here. I had it like the next day as well when we got to our other destination. It tastes so good. I don't know what they put in it, but it was a very nice thing that they did on this tour, that they just offered us food, and it was food with for reservation.
Are we allowed to go get lunch?
I think it's a buffet.
Once we finished eating, though, another tour bus showed up, so we had to leave. Either way, it was okay because we did have to get to our next destination. So you'll see them there practicing or participating in the shaman blessing as we were walking. I am very proud of this next thing that I did. I was going to the bathroom,
Bueno, a ver cómo
and
es.
there was no toilet paper in the women's section, so I stole it from the men's section. It's just a little snapshot of what I do on a daily basis. Saving lives, saving and
Oh,
foods
this
as
is
well.
better than the other one. Ay, no hay papel.
So you'll see most of this trip is based on the Mayan culture and heritage. If you saw my previous video, I let you guys know that since the Mayans, at least in this particular region of Mexico, are their more recent ancestors, that's what this tour is more focused on. Our tour guide himself is like 100% Maya. We still have a ton of 100% Maya people in Mexico, and that's where we're living. He was giving us all the history, all the things he had to go to as a child. He showed around some artifacts. He even gave us our Maya name. It was very interesting, and he was very good as a tour guide as well. That right there is the Mayan alphabet and the calendar. So as we came off of this bus, it was very interesting. They were taking all of our pictures, which will come into play later on. I did not know what was going on right at the second, but I went with it.
No, yo Gracias.
This little circle here, they had everyone stand on these two footprints in the middle and like say their name. Basically, it was them saying, "Oh, the sun god is here, and if you say your name, you'll feel it reverberate through your whole body." Basically, it's just the acoustics, but it was still very interesting that the acoustics of just this location were super strong. So you see my mom, she doesn't believe in all that stuff, but she just said like hello and she felt it. I did also feel it, but it doesn't really translate through the phone. So walking into this one, I didn't really know what to expect. They told me it was like this spiritual water hole. I'm sure it had some significance back in the day to the Mayas. But it was literally a sinkhole that filled up with water. It's super deep. According to our tour guide, there's like catfish and like some random animals in there. But this is called the Cenote Ciclac. Or Ciclac, something like that. He said it's Mayan. I can't pronounce it. But they have several cenotes in Mexico. Most of them are religious or like spiritually based for the Mayas. So before entering, they ask everyone to like bathe and shower in like the showers they provide, just to prevent any impurities from entering the water. Going down was actually very pretty, a lot of natural rock, but obviously they did some stuff to it. Also, you know, beautiful. Only my father and my sister ended up swimming. None of us brought clothes. My father had to give my sister his shirt. It was the best, but they ended up going in. They said it was very nice, very warm actually, and since it was like a sinkhole, you just had this feeling of being, what's it called? Not elevated, but suspended in midair. And everyone had a magical moment in this cenote. And as you know, they just use me for my photography skills, so I just had to go down, take their pictures, and walk my butt all the way back up. And even though these steps are pretty looking, they're not even, so it wasn't easy, but I did it. And then I just ended up sitting upstairs with my mom and my brother, and it was hot. And we were there for about an hour, hour and a half, letting everyone bathe and, you know, come out and dry out. Very hot. This is us on our third technical stop. It is a small village, almost close to our last stop. It just has a very old church from the Europeans that came to settle the area. You can't necessarily go in, but you can take pictures with it outside. But just the plaza right there is very beautiful. A lot of locals just hanging out. I wish we had more of this in America.
Oh, there's a little thing with a heart.
So if you would like on this tour, going to the back, you have to enter this building, and in the back, if you paid the reservation for the tour, they offer free tequila tasting. They have different flavors, different. I don't know anything about tequila, but there were people taking shots back there. So there's that. And according to what I heard, the tequila was top tier. So I don't know if they made you taste it to see if you wanted to buy it, but there's that. This is me in front of the church. As we got back onto the bus, this Mayan man showed us a toast in the Mayan language.
Una vez más, así con ganas, fuerte, fuerte. Ganar. Gamba. Chumuk. Ichi. Anchmanki.
Remember that I told you to remember these pictures that we took earlier on? I had no idea what they were for. They didn't explain it. They just took everyone's picture coming out of the bus. This is why. They put every single one of those pictures on a bottle of tequila. The whole point was for you, it's like a, I don't know, a souvenir. You have your face on a bottle of tequila, you can take it home with you. But I just thought it was very interesting, very funny, you know? Because we had no idea. And we don't drink. So now we're on our last leg going to our final destination, and I am tired. This is way past midday. This is at least 4 or 5 p.m. in the afternoon. And yes, I recorded that myself. I know. Relax, I get it. But this is us arriving to our final destination. Super excited. And you'll see in a second what he meant about remembering what bus, because there are tons of buses. This is just one side, the other side is full. And this is not just from Mexico. People from Mexico, Nicaragua, I think even Guatemala, he said that people come to see this location. And the moment you step off the bus, you will be harassed by people trying to sell you a hat, an umbrella, a random Mayan artifact. The one thing I will do say that once we got in, you'll see all these artifacts on the side. They do make most of them themselves, so it is handmade. Once we got up the steps to get in, they separated us based on nationality, which I thought was interesting. So whether you were a national from Mexico or a traveler tourist, even though we all spoke Spanish, they still put us on like the English line. I don't know why. I guess we all had American passports, and they just assumed that it would be easier for us to understand the English, which it honestly is. Here we go. according to our tour guide, this place wasn't busy compared to the last week. So I do not want to know what busy looks like, because you couldn't hold your arms out without hitting something. And as you can see, both sides of the walkway are full of stalls where you can buy things. A lot of the stalls have like duplicates or kind of the same items. But as you can see, they do make it themselves. That man is building one of the skulls that he has in the front. So, something to consider. And here we are, the main event. The reason why we woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get to the bus stop. We came to see the pyramid, and there it is in front of us. It is way more impressive in person, and you honestly, if you come to Mexico or Cancun at all, you really have to come see Chichén Itzá. That's the name of the pyramid, and it is like awe-inspiring. Like, to think that people without modern technology built that. So once we got our bearings, our tour guide took us all. We were in the English tour, obviously, and he started to speak.
Okay, English speakers. Oh, this is gonna be a group too? English here. Okay. So you first time here in Chichén Itzá? Yeah. Welcome to Chichén Itzá. No chicken pizza. Okay, that's cool. Do you remember the name of the main god of Chichén Itzá?
You don't hear that?
No. And a little deviation on 17 degrees at the magnetic north. On top of the building, can you see a mask? Right?
Yes.
But tell me,
Yeah.
the mask at the door is a lineup? No. In this case, this building is a lineup with the sun. When the sun disappeared on 21st March and 22nd September, the sun illuminated the left side of the building because of that platform trying to hit the body of the god of Chichén Itzá. If you watch an Apocalypto movie, Apocalypto know what's true. The Mayas never practiced sacrifices in this building.
So if you watched my previous video, you would have seen the ancient soccer that the Mayas used to play in like the final play situation of the night, the video before, whatever. This was basically the royal stadium for that game. I don't know if you can see,
They used to try to get it in there.
but there are the little hoops at the top of the wall on either side, and this is where they would play. Interesting fact, they would play. It was a whole day thing, and then at the end of the day, whoever was the winner would be sacrificed to the sun god. And you say, why the winner? Because according to them, their god deserved the best. So not the loser, but the winner's captain and the winner's team, they would all die because they won, because they're the best, basically. This is just another show of acoustics. If you listen closely, another echo of her yelling will come in from behind.
1, 2, 3.
Ah, there's an echo. Uh-huh.
Top level.
Uh-huh.
One more time. 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
So that's how they would make their stadium sound super loud and super entertaining. I don't know, I'm really impressed by our ancient Mayas. We were here for only about an hour because it was a 3.5 hour drive back to Cancun. So we had to get on the road a little earlier than most, but it was still impressive. It was still, I was awesome, to be honest.
¿Qué pasó?
We did end up getting just a few things from here, nothing too crazy, but you can get a lot of nice things if you wanted to. All in all, this experience was very nice. I would do it again. I just would like to know what I was getting into before. I did not expect this to be a full day.
Sama. Sama, Chichén, Itzá.
So this is us starting for 3.5 hour drive back. This time we did not stop at all. We just went straight. And when we got back, our tour guide's son actually had to pick us up, and he decided to give us his own tour of the Cancun's downtown.
Eso lo puede hacer también. Entonces, pues aquí hay varios lugarcitos, pues como de compras. Aquí son varios hoteles y pues prácticamente eso sería el centro de Cancún.
So of course, we were exhausted. We ended up finishing the tour with our tour guide's son. We went home, we had like ramen or something, took a shower, and went to bed, and I'll show you the next day. Psych! Again! You thought we got tacos. Again. Of course, like what else would we be doing in Mexico? These, to be honest, weren't as good as the last ones we got, but it was still pretty good, and it was in Mexico, whatever. Now the video is done, and please join me for the finale. I do not know when I'll post it, but it will be part 3.